di da, everybody. This is Watch This. Are you gonna talk at all?
I was waiting for you to do the intro.
That was the intro.
La di da, really?
Yeah, it's a line from the movie, kind of.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg says, "Well, la di
Oh
da."
yeah. Oh yeah. I
So
my intro would have been like, you know what I found out, Elijah?
what?
My hand, it doesn't shake.
Oh, that's
Boom.
better. Yeah,
That
that's
was
better.
on.
Oh, okay. I have there are cops and criminals. When you face a gun, what's the difference?
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Hmm.
I have, hey, you guys.
That's
Is
also
that this
from
one?
this movie.
That's this one?
Yeah, that's from The Departed 2006.
Ah, yes.
So we watched The Departed
After Elijah made me buy it.
after I made you buy it.
Ugh.
So
I was circling it anyways. Like I was gonna buy it at some point, I'm sure, but I would have liked it to be on sale.
yeah. Next
It's
time I'll
worth it.
recommend one we have access to.
But
Well,
it's
no,
definitely a worth it buy anyway.
that's true. It's not one
Uh,
you're never gonna watch again or anything, so you know.
right. Although that being said, as an intro, this is one that either I have to watch by myself or I have to watch with you. Like your mom
Right.
wanted to whenever watch this one. I'm trying to remember if she's ever even tried. I don't know if she has or not. It's not the kind of movie she likes.
No, definitely not. Which is it's very interesting to that point that it ended up winning Best Picture.
Hmm.
And I think Martin Scorsese said something about I didn't expect that to happen. Like it's a nasty
Hmm.
movie with
Right.
nasty things in it.
Right.
That wasn't the goal at all.
Right. And to be fair though, like you know this better than I do as far as awards go, like anything not run of the mill seems to get awards, right? Like whether it's, I suppose you could say independent, but I'd say even more not popular, quote unquote, like just the ones that everybody likes. Like anything artsy, anything deep, those are the ones that tend to get awards. However, this one exists somewhere in its own category. Like it's not popular, although I'm guessing they made out pretty well as far as money goes. I didn't look at that, but it's also not one that you're just going to sit down and have a fun time with.
Right.
I don't
It's kind of
foresee by watching it all the time.
well, my thought behind picking this one is it's like an accessible crime movie, but it's also like a bit deeper than that. And
Right,
it's Martin Scorsese. It's a bit, filmy.
right.
So
What would
yeah,
you compare it to? Because you said crimey. Like, would you say it's in the Godfather
I wouldn't
family?
I wouldn't say that. It's more honestly, it's like Face Off kind of, but with less
Hmm,
action.
right,
Uh, but with the amount of quality of like any other Martin Scorsese thing
right.
you can think of.
It's also not watching it this time. I think I tried really hard to look for Easter eggs, anything
Mhm.
hidden. If anything, I thought that's what our like if anybody wants to actually listen to our podcast, like, oh, that's why I wanted to listen so that I could go look for this when I watch it
Mhm.
next time or whatever. And the only thing, if you do any kind of internet research, you're going to find several of these Easter eggs. But the one that I was really watching, Scorsese said he put an X in the scene before every person who was going to get shot or killed.
Oh,
So I was really watching for that, and I could only find
hmm.
a few. Like I didn't find all of them.
I never noticed
And
that.
yeah, so go back and watch it and look for that X
Mhm.
before, like just marking the dead spot, right? Or marking who was going to die.
So to jump right into it, what do you think this movie is like about? What's it
Hmm,
going at? What's it trying to say?
that's a really good question. You're getting good at hosting podcasts, Elijah.
Oh, thanks.
I listened to one of our first podcasts and I wanted to apologize because you one time told me, like, Dad, you just talk the whole time. And I was like, no, I don't. And then I went and listened to one of our old ones, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I talked like the whole time and didn't let Elijah talk." So
To
sorry
be
about
fair,
that.
To be fair, I wasn't very good at saying
Yeah,
anything.
that's true. Every time I'd ask you a question, you would just be like, yeah, it was good.
Good movie, you know.
Yeah, I liked it. So anyway, back to your question. What was this movie trying to say? Is that what you asked?
Yeah.
I think, and I'm going to come at it from a little bit of a former pastor kind of idea too, in terms of
Hmm.
like what I would preach on that way. Like, it's pretty obvious about total depravity. Like, that's kind of
Hmm.
low-hanging fruit, if you will.
Hmm.
Everybody is broken and gross, and there is no pure good guy.
Right.
Even
They're cops and criminals. You face a gun, what's the difference?
right. That being said, I always appreciate Community when Abed does the documentary of the Bible of filming himself, like all the
Hmm.
meta stuff, remember? And he lists off like a dozen movies that are all about dying and a rebirthing and a resurrection. So what movie isn't about Jesus is what he was
Hmm.
trying to say, kind of. And so coming at it from that language or that idea, like, is there a Jesus character? Like, is there someone who is supposed to represent good? The easy way to say would be a good guy. And
Hmm.
obviously, the closest we get is Leonardo DiCaprio, Billy,
Hmm.
William Costigan. And you could make the argument there's a Jesus picture in the way that he involves himself in the grossness, like the way Jesus comes down to earth
Hmm.
and does what he does for us. However, the analogy falls apart, right? Because essentially, Billy gets in so deep
Hmm.
that he can't get back out, even
Right.
when he wants to. And and so the Jesus analogy falls apart there. What it's about, you can't go much deeper than there's good and bad in all of us. Never trust anybody. Like, I don't think there's not one character that I would trust. I suppose the psychiatrist, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's kind of saying like when it comes down to it, everybody's not good, you know?
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
cops are just mean. The criminals are
Right.
just mean. Like this was like a very mean movie. Everybody's
Right.
like saying slurs, like yelling at
Oh,
each
yeah.
other all the time.
Big time, right? Hmm.
There's not a single person that you would want to like hang out with, you
Right.
know?
That's a good way to say it. There's not
It's
a
like there's not really anybody you can latch onto other than Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's kind of a troubled person.
hmm.
So it's really, I think you were onto something with the total depravity thing.
Right.
And when it gets down to like the end, all these twists. Oh,
Yeah.
I was a rat, but he was gonna sell, Costello was selling us out to the FBI the whole time. That
Right.
kind of thing. A line that stuck with me was when a guy said, "It's a nation full of rats." And in the ending scene, the rat crawling on the thing.
Yeah.
It's really just kind of depressing.
I think that's, can we say like what, assuming what Scorsese's goal was, right? Like
Hmm.
how, if that's a fun thing to do, like what do you think he was trying to do? And I remember one interview about this one that he was really against that final scene with the rat because
Oh.
it's so on the nose, right? Like
Hmm.
there's nothing hidden there as far
Hmm.
as like, oh, by the way, before you leave, this is what the movie was about.
Hmm.
Everybody's a rat. Like there's just always a rat kind of thing.
Hmm.
But that's assuming too, right? Like maybe I just heard that in an interview and it wasn't true or whatever,
Hmm.
but I think it's pretty safe to say the goal was get in, get out, everybody's a rat, and spoiler alert, like nobody wins. I think that is
Hmm.
a takeaway I had this time too. Like, who's the winner out of all this? Not even the good guy. Like, who's the winner? I suppose you could say Donnie or Mark Wahlberg. I was about to say
Hmm.
Donnie Wahlberg, just because he stays alive, but that's about all he's got going for him, right? Like, does he feel fulfilled because he had
Right.
revenge or whatever the case was? Like, nobody wins, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the good guy got shot.
Right.
Like the guy that was willing to be seen as a bad guy and
Mm,
actually do what the right thing is,
Right.
he ended up dying.
Right.
And the guy that wanted all the praise, but also wanted the money from dealing with Frank Costello, he
Hmm.
also got shot.
Yep. Yep.
So
So
I wonder if it's saying, we all come to the same end, a bit of Ecclesiastes type thing.
I think you're onto something there too, as you were saying, because yeah, if Leo is the good guy, if Matt Damon is the bad guy, both both meet the same end.
So, what do you have to say about like the quality of the movie in terms of being a movie?
Oh my goodness. So I didn't look at the casting list again. I
Hmm.
knew because I've seen it before, maybe even a couple
Hmm.
times. But I knew so and so was in it. I knew so and so was in it. But when I'm gonna go back to the actual cast here, there were a couple times where it almost took my breath away. I was like, "What? He's in the movie too? What? He's in the movie too?" Like it is an absolute 1992 basketball dream team. Like who could
You got
you?
you got Leo, you got Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg,
It's
Alec Baldwin.
Jack Nicholson,
Ru- how could I forget Jack Nicholson,
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen.
But then the one that caught me, uh, cousin Sean, Kevin
Mhm.
Corrigan, we know him from Community. He's
He's
Professor Professorson.
I thought he looked familiar.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I totally see that now.
Yep. And
That's
then
awesome.
Anthony Anderson, is in a lot of things. I know him from he was in a sitcom a long time ago when I was like in high school or so about
Hmm.
basketball. And yeah, I was just like every big hitter kind of language, sports language, I suppose. Any of these actors or actresses are incredible. And to put them all together, like, wow.
Hmm.
I didn't enjoy. I was trying to really pay attention to this, like which actor I thought was doing a quote unquote good job kind of thing,
Hmm.
right? And what does it mean to do good job
Hmm.
other than like just like I'm sold, like I believe you are that person, I
Right.
suppose, would be a way to say it. Jack Nicholson was like on
Oh, he's
another
incredible.
planet. Like I just couldn't believe it. Um, which is scary in a way, right? Like I believe
Yeah.
you're a psycho killer uh,
Yeah.
with no remorse, with no
Hmm.
fear. Like there was no fear for that guy, right?
Hmm.
As far as confidence goes. And that brings up, I listened to an article or interview. I think Matt Damon was being interviewed, and it was about Jack Nicholson. And he tells the whole story. He's like, the guy ad-libbed a few things, like it was written in the script, like
Hmm.
no big deal, whatever, da 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 da. And the one opening scene where he says he shoots somebody and he
Oh.
says, you know, she fell weird. And everybody was like, what? Like, what is what? And it just carried the weight of like a guy who had killed somebody
Hmm.
so many times and just noticing something like that, like, oh yeah, she fell weird. Like, what a
Hmm.
depraved thing to say. Not a remorseful
Hmm.
thing or not anything like that, but just
And then he just laughs,
yeah.
chuckles.
And it's creepy and it's so well done, right?
You really buy into like he just has no morals. Like he does
Right.
every just his interaction with the girl at the beginning, like that was creepy.
Right. Right. And
Or
his whole spiel at the beginning when he started
hmm.
as the narrator, the
Hmm.
very first couple lines, I was like, wow, like does it make sense kind of the way he's framing like everybody is broken,
Hmm.
that kind of thing. And then he goes on like a racist rant.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, so we're right away believing this guy, his morals are in the trash, like
Right.
0 out of 10, right?
Hmm.
I put him way at top as far as how well was the movie made. I would go to Jack Nicholson
He just
as,
has that face and that
oh
voice.
man,
Like,
right?
and he's so talented, but he's just so good at like being a creepy guy.
Agreed. Made to play that role, really,
Yeah, in a
which is
good
not
way.
great for him. I would assume like, um,
So
can. would this be a fair question? I want to ask you, like, if it's one-on-one, as far as acting goes, right? So just
Mhm,
as an actor in this movie, only in this movie, not in
mhm.
their rest of their career or whatever, did you like or would you take Leo or Matt Damon?
Ooh, they're both really good. I feel like I would probably go Leo. I
Hmm.
feel like he's doing a bit more.
Hmm.
I don't know. They're both really well cast.
Agreed. Right.
And I think well cast as in like they're not easily confused.
Oh yeah.
Like they
Right.
have distinct faces and voices. I feel like Heat is a really good movie, but Al Pacino and Robert De Niro look very much alike.
Mm. Hmm. I can see
Maybe
that.
that's just me getting them mixed up, but I feel like they're very distinct, Leo and Matt Damon.
I can see that. What would it be like to say, like, who does the best job at what they were given? Obviously, Jack Nicholson is number one in this movie.
Yeah.
I think I would go either Leo or Martin Sheen because
Mm.
I thought Martin Sheen did such an incredible, like, and
Hmm.
speaking of who's the good guy, like, I guess it's him in some ways too. Like, he's the only trustworthy one, kind of,
Hmm.
and he kind of talks Billy down several times. But what I didn't understand was how he let Dignam be such a jerk. Like there
Mm.
was no kind of holding him back, and I didn't
That's
quite
Mark Wahlberg.
understand. Yeah, and I also didn't understand as far as team building goes, like what was Dignam trying to do? Put Leo so far, so hard
Mm.
through, like be so mean to him so
Hmm.
that he would know if Leo could handle it, maybe, or something like that. Like I just didn't understand his thought process as a character. Like, why would you do
Hmm.
that?
I feel like it was some of that. At
Hmm.
least that was like his mindset. I wrote in my notes just Mark Wahlberg is a wacko.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
and then he was suspicious of Matt Damon like the whole time, and he turned out to be right.
Yeah,
So yeah, I guess he was like good the whole time.
I guess so. But I was gonna ask you this if we could ever find out, like, why did, how did Dignam know for sure? Or did
Hmm.
he even know for sure?
Mm.
Like, he assumed that Matt Damon was the bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
or he simply took it upon himself to know that Matt Damon had Martin Sheen killed,
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't, Wahlberg wasn't worried about good, bad, whatever. He just wanted
Mm.
revenge for
Yeah,
Sheen
that
being
could be.
killed. Maybe
That
that
could
was
be.
it. And I guess we're never told flat out, like, what did they actually know, kind of thing.
Well, he clearly he was doing it in secret, like not even as a cop. Like he had the
Right.
rubber gloves on. He used like a silent gun. Like he didn't want to get caught.
Right. And he was still probably on suspension or whatever too,
Hmm.
right? And so there was no like I'm coming in as a cop kind of feel or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want to hear something crazy?
Sure.
Out of all these, we've talked about all these really good actors. There was only one nominated for an Oscar.
Oh,
Can you guess who it is?
make me guess who it is. Well, as we've talked about, I think Jack was like so great,
Hmm.
but that's almost like too obvious of a
Hmm.
choice. And because you're kind of throwing it as a quiz, I'm thinking it's going to be somebody surprising. So I
Hmm.
think with all that, I'm going to go with the psychiatrist with Madeline.
No, it was Mark Wahlberg.
Ah, man, really? Like, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
No, it's very strange. Like he was good,
Yeah, but not
but
like that good.
not that good. Like he wasn't Jack Nicholson
Right.
good. I don't know. The Oscars just make strange decisions, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't see that answer coming. I kind of figured it would be a non-obvious choice since we were doing the quiz, but yeah, I feel like you could have gone several directions there before you even
Hmm.
go to him as a
Yeah.
list of who was the best or what.
For sure, Jack Nicholson.
Agreed.
Whatever. That was
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Right. Who didn't carry their weight, you think? Like who would you like it's so hard, right? Like on a great basketball team, like who's gonna sit the bench the most? Or who do you think was maybe even overrated in some
Mm.
sense?
I don't think anybody did a bad job. I think at the very least they did good.
Yeah.
I think uh not to pick out the only like female on the cast,
Mm.
but the therapist character was probably the weakest
Hmm.
if I had to say, but I don't know, she did like her performance was good, it just wasn't memorable, which is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what she needed to be kind of thing.
Right.
I had one in mind. I was gonna go with Alec Baldwin. Like
Mm, that's true. He wasn't in it that much.
and not even that, and maybe some of that because he didn't have a lot of room to shine.
Hmm.
But I just thought it was very almost cliche-ish, like police
Mm,
captain,
it was kind of like that.
tough, like that kind of thing. And I've been watching a lot of 30 Rock.
Hmm.
I don't know if you've ever watched that one or not, but it's Tina Fey and she's the
Hmm.
network executive or whatever. And Alec Baldwin is her boss.
Hmm.
And I would almost argue like it's the exact same person. Like he's playing
Right.
the same character,
Right.
just a very rich, well-to-do 55, 60-year-old kind of.
Hmm.
And yeah, it just feels like he didn't try anything hard as he was
Hmm.
acting. Like I'm just gonna be me, kind of. It feels like.
Yeah, I liked when he was like randomly sweaty in two scenes. Like
Mm,
they were
right,
doing the like stakeout or whatever, and he was just like yelling at everybody, and he was like sweaty.
right,
I
right.
was like, what's going on with this guy? So really well directed.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of obvious to say because it's Marty, but
Right.
like the it's interesting for the first half, the camera always seemed to be in motion because it's kind of got that quick things are happening vibe, you know?
Right. Right.
I feel like the way that it's edited, really, as soon as a sentence is finished, then to the next scene. Because
Right.
there's a lot of like cross-cutting between Matt Damon, what Matt Damon's doing, and what Leonardo DiCaprio is doing. And the
I
way that it's always spinning around someone's head or like moving closer towards them, it really
right.
gives you that feel of this is intense.
I should have paid more attention to the speed of when it slows down too, because I do think
Hmm.
it does that a couple of times. I just off the top
Hmm.
of my head, and obviously like a funnel, getting us to pay close attention to, okay, we're
Hmm.
not moving quick on this part,
Hmm.
so you need to obviously pay attention.
Right.
And there's a couple of Jack Nicholson, Leonardo DiCaprio conversations that take more time,
Hmm.
and I think we're meant to pay pretty close attention to those.
And I think this some of the scenes with the therapist where the camera was still.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was really well done.
On
Some of
that
the
sign or on that sense, in that sense
hmm.
of direction, I would like to mention the music is
Hmm.
incredible because
Hmm.
there's a obvious like I'm shipping up to Boston from Dropkick
Hmm.
Murphys. Like that's just such an Irish theme. But the way that's used a couple of times
Hmm.
in the movie, he uses it multiple times. But what I noticed this time was the way it suddenly stops a
Right.
couple of times. So we're listening to the music, and all of a sudden, in the very first time it gets used, we have like a whole introduction,
Hmm.
and then we get the title scene, The Departed,
Hmm.
and then we're listening to the music, and then he knocks on his cousin's door, and the music stops when the
Hmm.
mom answers. Like, the abruptness is meant to be jarring, and it
Hmm.
really does its job.
That's interesting because this time and the first time I watched it, like I saw that as like a flaw. It ended at like an awkward time. I don't mind it being abrupt. I feel like it should have been before it cut to the scene where he opens the door.
Mm-hmm.
Because he opened the door and the person walked out and then it just like stopped abruptly and it was kind of like,
Right.
oh.
But
But
isn't that on purpose, you think? Like, obviously,
yeah, that might have
knowing
been on purpose.
the director, right? And probably because he wants us to feel off. Like, it's
Right.
not a It's not a perfectly cut scene or like a
Right.
perfectly cut ending. Everything is abrupt, right?
I suppose. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know.
Think about.
And later on they played again, which the way that the music starts is like, oh, that's
Right,
so cool.
right,
And then it stops when Matt Damon like shuts his flip phone or whatever.
right.
And like that's a cool like abrupt. And then it starts again and it's like, okay, they're playing it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then it stops when Matt Damon like walks into a room and then like as he's walking it just stops. Like it feels awkward again. I don't know. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
intentional that was, but
Yeah,
to me it felt kind of awkward.
my money would be on it being intentional. Just not
Right.
we about that beginning, like the way it started. I wrote down it almost feels like a TV show, kind of a cold open,
Mm.
and then the title scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we ever see like some movies. I don't know that they do this much anymore. You would know more, but like we don't see the names of who's starring kind
Mm-hmm.
of creep up or
Oh, that's true.
we're just right away in.
Right.
And that has something to do with the way both of these sides, if you will, Matt
Mm-hmm.
Damon and Leonardo DiCaprio, are infiltrating, being in something.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna end to the movie, right? Just like
Right.
both of those characters.
I think it's so cool that after all that introduction, like the title drops 18 minutes into the movie. Like I checked the time,
Right, right.
it was a whole 18 minutes. I was like, that is awesome.
You don't see that a whole lot, right?
No, for something about late title drops, like if used
Right.
well, it's adds so much.
Agreed.
All right. Uh, we'll take a little
Agreed.
break in between the
Word from our sponsors.
things. Yep.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at my notes a little bit.
Sweet.
The contrast between Leo and Matt Damon was interesting. They kind of showed like Matt Damon. There was a part where Matt Damon was like on a date, fancy restaurant, and cross-cutting between Leo, uh, after Jack Nicholson had that guy like break his arm
Mm,
after it was
right.
already. Or wait, no, I don't remember if it was that part or if it was the first time he broke his arm. Either way, he was like in the hospital with like a busted up arm,
Mm-hmm.
kind of showing like Matt Damon's kind of a liar, but he's getting all the good stuff. Fancy restaurant, he's on a date. Leo's getting beat up.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that it was edited was very good at communicating that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask earlier when, as an actor, like which one you would go for in terms of who's doing the better job acting.
Well, you
But
did
I
ask that.
also, yeah, but I was gonna ask again, or in addition to that, just the character,
Hmm.
what was the purpose of the back and forth?
Hmm.
I assume it's because we're seeing the good try to act bad, we're seeing the bad try to act good.
Hmm.
And I don't know, like maybe the you can't trust the first layer or
Mm.
things
Hmm.
aren't what they seem.
Because
There's something
everybody's
in
a
there
rat.
that's important about the question that I think Mark Wahlberg asked, do
Hmm.
you want to be a cop or do you want to look like a cop?
Mm. Hmm.
And that's essentially the crux of the movie, right?
Hmm.
One is a cop but doesn't look like a cop. One looks like a cop but isn't a cop.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, I feel like never mind actually. So do you have anything else to say? Sorry. I kind
No,
of
that's
lost my
okay.
train of thought.
It's hard to jump back in now that we took a break, but
Yeah.
and I think we covered a lot of it in the first half.
Hmm.
I guess the only other like kind of glaring questions about this one out of this all-star team,
Hmm.
um, for the person who likes this kind of movie,
Hmm.
what doesn't it accomplish that another movie does?
Hmm. Interesting.
I think I want to ask it that way because there's a lot of cop dramas, right? Like a
Hmm.
lot of undercover, In Too Deep, all of those kind of things.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of violent ones too. This one
Hmm.
is pretty violent. Um, but if you were to say to somebody who liked this movie,
Hmm.
would you say, "Oh, you really got to watch this one, that the next one that you would
Mm.
suggest?"
Well, in terms of things similar to this kind of this way of directing, or like in terms of similar to what it's trying to say,
I guess you
or
could go a
just
lot
the
of different
genre.
ways. Yeah, your call. Like, how do you want to take that question? Because I was even thinking, like, man, given the characters or given the actors, I found myself, I've always kind of liked Leo. Like, oh man, I kind of like whatever he's in.
Hmm.
But this one almost solidifies it for me. Like, oh man, if he's in the movie, there's a pretty good chance I'm gonna like the movie just because I think he's awesome. Like he does
Yeah,
such a great
he's
job. Right.
he's kind of
And
legendary.
right, obviously, right. And so I guess you could ask like if you're not sold on any of the actors, like I'm not gonna
Hmm.
follow just this actor or that actor, but I want to follow the genre.
Hmm.
I want to see this kind of movie again.
I'd
Like, where
go.
would you point somebody?
I'd go with Heat. I think it has a similar dynamic, maybe a bit more personal than
Mm.
Leo and Matt Damon because they don't really meet until the end, but he has kind of an interesting good guy, bad guy dynamic, but
Right,
it doesn't do the same thing with the undercover.
right.
I'd also say Reservoir Dogs kind of does a similar thing.
Hmm.
It's like an undercover cop, although that's kind of a twist, so I won't tell you more,
Spoiler
but
alert.
yeah, they're both different movies, but I feel like this movie I would recommend both of those.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta say, this came out at the perfect time because it wouldn't be nearly as good if they didn't have flip phones to dramatically shut.
Yeah.
Like that, genuinely, that adds so much to the intensity of the movie. Like
Oh yeah.
the they shut the phones and then you edit, cut the next scene. It's so cool.
I think I also have to say I remember this from the last time I watched it. There's a few things that you have to suspend belief on, right? In
Hmm.
terms of like, oh, that's random that he knew that or
Hmm.
that just so happened there. Da, 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 da.
Hmm.
Matt Damon sending a text in his pocket to the exact right number with the exact right
Hmm.
words. Uh,
And nobody
and if you
noticing.
remember, you're probably too young, but did you ever have one of the phones that you had to hit the button 3 times to get to the letter that you wanted to?
Didn't.
QWERTY, was it QWERTY, whatever the keyboard was called?
Hmm.
But you had to hit ding, 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 and then wait, go to the next one. Like the complication of that is
Hmm.
was almost laughable. And I thought, man, I wonder if they could have just somehow
Hmm.
gone around that. But given the time frame, that was the highest technology, right?
Hmm.
Uh, it'd be interesting to see that, to see this movie now. You wouldn't have the dramatic close of the flip phone, but you would have so much technology available, right? It would be
Right.
fun.
I feel like if this was made now, Martin Scorsese would figure out a way to implement current technology.
Oh, for sure. Right.
I think One Battle After Another kind of does that well.
I still haven't seen that one. Like we were so close to watching it one of the nights, and then we watched Roofman instead.
Mm. Hmm.
Um, and I was very disappointed. We could do a review on Roofman, and I don't know, we both thought it was very silly the way that it tried to portray a quote unquote true story.
Hmm.
and just, yeah, kind of tripped over itself a couple of times, we thought. But
Hmm.
anyway,
Yeah.
back to the point.
I think another one I would recommend if you like this one would be One Battle After Another. It has kind of a similar vibe.
I've heard
I think it's
that.
got Leo.
Yeah. And especially, yeah, him as a leading man kind of thing. Who gets like top billing for this movie in 2006, especially?
Pretty sure it's Leo.
Is it
And
like
Matt
he's
Damon is close second.
not Jack Nicholson?
Uh, I'm gonna look at the IMDb.
Because even you could even ask, so you said Wahlberg got nominated as supporting actor.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, so it's
who's supporting and who's
Leo, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Mark Wahlberg. Those are the in the listing of top billing.
okay.
So I
And is that like
guess
that's according to the poster?
according to the IMDb listing.
Okay.
So
And
I
that's splitting hairs, I suppose, to see like I wonder who was in the exact most minutes
right.
of the movie or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Leo and Matt Damon would be lead actors.
Right.
Jack Nicholson supporting.
Hmm. That makes it an
So
interesting, like, who is this movie about? Was this movie about Mark Wahlberg or his character?
not really. I feel like
Was
it
this
was more,
movie about Leonardo DiCaprio?
I'd say so. It's about Leonardo
Right.
and I guess Matt Damon. Well, from the very beginning, it we start with Matt Damon's story actually,
hmm hmm
with him first meeting Frank Costello,
As a kid, right?
and then we see Matt Damon and Leonardo DiCaprio kind of contrasted, and their lives are kind of intertwined,
hmm
despite them not meeting each other.
hmm
So yeah, I'd say it's
Well,
about them too.
there's one scene, I believe it's with the cousin Sean
Hmm.
in the car, and Leo is just trying to break in, right? And do like
Hmm.
a stupid I think he knows it's a stupid drug deal, but he just wants to get
Hmm.
on Frank's radar,
Hmm.
on Jack Nicholson's radar. And the conversation goes, the cousin says something like, well, this is God as far as you're concerned. And of
Hmm.
course, we put a small g, God. But that made me think as I was asking, whose movie is it? Like, really, it's about Frank Costello as
Hmm.
the son or
Hmm.
the primary sun, like the primary being, and
Hmm.
then Leo and Matt Damon revolving around him,
Oh, okay.
right? And so it's Jack Nicholson's story and
Hmm.
these characters that come in and out of his life.
Hmm.
Like we're just a little glimpse into them, a little glimpse into them, but really
Right.
they're trying to be in Frank's world,
Hmm.
both of them. And that always made me question any kind of movie like this. Like, why is he that much more powerful? Like, it's not like he could run faster than anybody. It's
Hmm.
not like he was stronger than anybody. What always gets me about mob movies like this, if you will, or gangster movies
Hmm.
or any kind of headpin kind of movies,
Hmm.
the only thing that sets him apart is his complete depravity.
Right.
Like he's willing to kill somebody.
Hmm.
And even as I say that, his henchmen were also willing, right? So then
Hmm.
why is he the head guy?
I guess
Like
it comes down to money.
he just has the
Maybe
most money, I
he just
suppose.
has it.
Yeah. And I guess that's the reality of
And
the answer.
part of it is we don't really know.
Right. Which
We
Leo
don't.
brings up in one scene, doesn't he? He's as he is being sniffed out as the rat,
Hmm.
he asks Frank, "Who do you think thinks they could do your job?"
Mm.
Like, that's the rat, the one who
Hmm.
thinks they can be you. And it's interesting then at the very end, I think, doesn't Matt Damon get asked, I think by his girlfriend, the psychiatrist, like, what is this? What is this tape? Damon tries really hard to convince her he's working for me. Like,
Hmm.
I'm the boss. He's working for me. So
Hmm.
Matt Damon thinks it's his story.
Right.
And that is maybe where the pride comes from,
Hmm.
where the fall comes from, because that's even a quotation out of the priests too. Remember, pride comes before the fall.
Right, right.
So there's some
Uh,
deep themes
yeah,
there.
Matt Damon is very prideful. So, anything else you got to say about this movie?
It's it's really good, and yet I even as the conversation that we did buy it, so we'll
Hmm.
have it on hand, but it's not one I'm gonna watch like every week or every couple
Hmm.
months. Like it's every once in a while, I think. Like, oh yeah, that's
Right.
right. I haven't seen that one in a while.
Hmm.
And then just appreciate the all-stars doing what they do, right? Like
Hmm.
seeing Leo at the top of his game, seeing Jack Nicholson at the top of his game, like those are all just appreciating how great of actors those are.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a great movie. Like, really well thought through script, really well
Hmm.
directed.
Hmm.
And yeah, like you said, the actors are great. There's a bit to chew on.
Hmm.
I feel like I could watch this movie every few years. Like,
Something
I'll
like
throw it
that.
on.
Right.
It's a really, it's not exactly a fun movie, but it's
Right.
easy to get invested in. Like,
Right.
I've seen this once before, but I was like gasping near the end, like, oh, I forgot about that twist. Like,
I think
oh
that's
man.
fun, right? If you
Right.
forget about it, and obviously we're never gonna like full on forget,
Hmm.
but if you wait long enough to be surprised again, I
Yeah.
think that goes a long way, right? Like,
So in this case, it kind of helps that I'm a forgetful person and don't remember the details of all the everything.
there you go. Yep, exactly.
So yeah, I think it's a great movie. Watch this.
Yep, watch this definitely.
Cool. So what's the movie for next month?
Well, do you want to do one that we actually own so that we don't have to like go look for it or go wonder if we have it or anything like that?
Sure,
Um,
sure.
Mom, I haven't quite got it. We almost watched Star is Born,
Hmm.
and she's not quite sure she wanted to. Like, that's got to be, you got to be just in the right mindset or
Hmm.
whatever on that one too. And you technically picked this one, so I should get to pick one of my favorites, I suppose, huh?
If you want.
And we kind of share some of the favorites anyways. I don't know. Let's think about it. I'm flustered for trying to find one, so
Oh, okay, that's fine. You can pick one that's on a streaming service, even if I don't have access to it. I can probably find it at the library if you
okay.
want.
Okay. I will text you some options.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
Watch
bye.
this. Love you.
Love you.